Besides, this is my kingdom. If I don't fight for it, who will?
I will.
It's gonna be dangerous.
Danger? Ha! I laugh in the face of danger. Ha 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 ha!
I still remember watching The Lion King as a kid and feeling that something wasn't quite right about the pride structure. With only one male lion shown, where did all these cubs come from? Many of you have asked about Nala's mysterious parentage, that unsolvable riddle hidden in the savannah. This question has divided fan communities for years. Are the main characters of Disney's most successful animated film actually related? Today we'll examine all the evidence, from cutscenes to official merchandise to statements from the creators themselves, to finally determine the truth about the Pridelands royal family. So here's the thing about The Lion King that's been bothering me for years. The pride structure makes absolutely no sense when you compare it to real lions. Have you ever watched a nature documentary about lions? In actual lion prides, you'll typically find multiple adult males hanging around. They're usually brothers or cousins who team up to protect their territory and their females. But in The Lion King, we only see Mufasa as the big male lion in charge, with Scar lurking in the shadows. This creates a huge question that the movie conveniently ignores. Where did all the other lions come from? And most importantly, who the heck is Nala's father? In BBC's Dynasties series, you can witness how real lion prides operate, with several males collectively ruling the territory. These males, often related to each other, share breeding rights with the females in the pride. This natural structure exists precisely to maintain genetic diversity and prevent inbreeding among lions. Yet Disney presents us with a drastically simplified version, just Mufasa in power and Scar in exile. This discrepancy between nature and narrative forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about the characters we love. When we see adorable little Nala playing with Simba, there's a biological reality the film completely sidesteps. Since Mufasa appears to be the only ruling male of Pride Rock, and given how lions actually behave in the wild, he would almost certainly be the father of all the cubs, including both Simba and Nala. This would make them half siblings. The film's silence on this matter is particularly telling. Every other major character has clear family connections. We know Simba's parents are Mufasa and Sarabi. We know Scar is Mufasa's brother, but Nala, total mystery. We briefly see her with her mother in one scene, but her father is never mentioned, never shown, never even hinted at. There's a small possibility that Scar could somehow be involved in Nala's parentage, which would make Simba and Nala cousins instead, but the movie gives us no hint about this. Her fur color differs completely from Scar's dark mane and sleek body type, suggesting no relation. And frankly, would cousins romancing each other really be much better? Disney audiences have grown increasingly passionate about accuracy and details over simplified storytelling. We've moved beyond accepting convenient narrative choices that ignore biological realities. The whole romance between Simba and Nala hits differently when you understand real lion behavior. In the wild, when male cubs grow up, they leave their birth pride specifically to avoid mating with related females. Female cubs usually stay with the pride, but they typically end up mating with new males who take over. Not the sons of the previous leader. Nature has its own ways of preventing inbreeding. The Lion King simply ignores all of that. The film's single male pride structure creates major questions about who is related to whom that never get answered. It's as if the creators hoped children wouldn't know enough about lion biology to ask these difficult questions. But this weird pride structure is just the beginning of our investigation. When we start looking at Disney's original plans for the movie, things get even more interesting. There's actually a lot more evidence about Simba and Nala's relationship hidden in early drafts and deleted scenes from The Lion King, and what the creators originally intended might surprise you. When we peek behind the curtain at early Lion King drafts, the mystery deepens because Disney systematically erased any mention of Nala's father from every version of the story. Why would they go to such lengths to hide just one character unless they knew exactly how uncomfortable the truth would make audiences feel? Remember those storyboards and scripts that never made it to the final cut? They contain crucial clues about who is and isn't related in the Pridelands that completely change our understanding of the Simba-Nala relationship. Disney's original vision for The Lion King was dramatically different from what ended up on screen. Early production documents from 1992 reveal entire character arcs and plot points that were abandoned during development. One of the most revealing deleted scenes showed adult Scar attempting to force grown-up Nala to become his queen. Imagine a scene where Scar corners Nala, his intentions unmistakably sinister as he demands she become his mate or face banishment. This uncomfortable sequence was fully animated, but ultimately cut from the final film for being too dark for younger audiences. This deleted scene gives us a significant revelation about the family structure. Scar and Nala were definitely not related in the writers' minds. If Scar was considering Nala as a potential mate, the writers must have established in their story development that they weren't blood relatives. Disney wouldn't have included even the suggestion of a relationship between characters who shared close family ties. This strongly implies that Nala isn't Scar's daughter and suggests the writers were being careful about avoiding familial relationships between potential romantic pairs. Original character design documents specifically name Serafina as Nala's mother, a lioness separate from Sarabi, Simba's mom. This character actually made it into the final film briefly. She's the lioness seen grooming young Nala during the "I just can't wait to be king" sequence. The official shooting script included a line where Nala says "mother, mother" to get Serafina's attention, establishing their relationship. The creators clearly wanted audiences to know that Simba and Nala at least had different mothers. What's telling is the deliberate omission of Nala's father across all production materials. The writers meticulously detailed other family relationships, gave background characters names and connections, yet maintained complete silence on Nala's paternity. This pattern extends beyond the film itself. The Lion King, 6 New Adventures books, official character bios from 1994, and merchandise all mention Serafina, but carefully avoid any reference to Nala's father. Producer Don Hahn once acknowledged in an interview that certain aspects of lion behavior were simplified for storytelling purposes. He explained that the team wanted to maintain the romance between Simba and Nala without getting bogged down in the details of lion social structures. A soft admission suggesting the production team was aware of the implications but decided not to address the question directly. Story meeting notes from February 1992 show extensive discussion about Mufasa and Scar's brotherhood and Sarabi as Simba's mother, but when Nala is mentioned, she's only referenced as Simba's childhood friend with no familial connections documented. An abandoned subplot featured Nala's younger brother named Mitu, who would have been rescued by Simba during the stampede scene. Though cut entirely, his existence in planning stages demonstrates that writers were conscious of Nala's family structure. They just deliberately avoided clarifying who fathered these cubs, reinforcing the theory that the early drafts held uncomfortable truths that were systematically removed from the final narrative. Disney scrapped Mitu from the original film, but he was just the first of many family tree complications. The sequels, TV shows, and books that followed created a tangled web of relationships that somehow managed to dance around the one question fans keep asking: who exactly is Nala's father? With every new opportunity to clarify this mystery, Disney instead built a confusing patchwork of contradictory information that seems designed to keep us guessing forever. The franchise that grew from The Lion King's success created narrative pieces that, like a jigsaw puzzle missing its corner pieces, never quite fit together when it came to Nala's lineage. Disney expanded the universe across multiple media formats, each one carefully sidestepping the paternity question while paradoxically focusing on family themes. The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride introduced Kiara as Simba and Nala's daughter, and centered on her forbidden romance with Kovu from the Outlands. Despite the plot revolving entirely around family connections and bloodlines, the movie completely avoided any mention of Nala's parentage or potential relation to Simba. This omission stands out precisely because family legacy forms the backbone of the entire story. Similarly, The Lion King 1.5 retold the original from Timon and Pumbaa's perspective, showing numerous previously unseen moments but conveniently skipping anything that might resolve our paternity puzzle. This pattern continued with the Lion Guard TV series, which ran for 3 seasons, introducing Kion as Simba and Nala's son and dozens of new characters. The show dedicated entire episodes to exploring minor characters' family histories while steadfastly ignoring Nala's paternal line. What makes this particularly suspicious is how the Lion Guard introduced elderly lions who supposedly lived in the Pridelands during Mufasa's reign. Nala's mother Sarafina is mentioned, but despite perfect opportunities to name her father, the writers consistently avoid it. The literary extensions complicate matters further. Disney's 6 New Adventures, published in 1994, introduced Kopa as Simba and Nala's son born before Kiara, a character never mentioned again in any other media. A Tale of Two Brothers reveals Mufasa and Scar's parents, King Ahadi and Queen Aru, while leaving Nala's paternal line blank. The canon becomes even more muddled when examining official Disney storybooks from the mid-90s. Some suggest multiple adult male lions existed in the Pride besides Mufasa and Scar, while others maintain the single male structure shown in the movie. Certain books mention neighboring prides visiting Pride Rock, potentially introducing other male lions who could be Nala's father, while other materials entirely contradict this. Even the Broadway musical adaptation carefully avoids Nala's parentage, despite adding scenes and songs that weren't in the original film. Shadowland, a song about Nala leaving to find help, explores her character more deeply, but provides no hint about her father. Disney's repeated avoidance across decades of storytelling opportunities suggests deliberate ambiguity. They could have easily inserted a single line in any sequel, episode, or book to settle the question. Instead, they've maintained this mysterious gap in Nala's family tree. Interestingly, Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park, which opened in 1998, featured educational materials accurately describing real lion pride structures with multiple males, contrasting sharply with the simplified version in the films. This suggests Disney acknowledges biological reality while keeping their fictional pride structure deliberately vague, leaving fans to forever wonder about the true identity of Nala's father. That deliberate vagueness extends beyond just the Disney parks and into the creator's own words. When pressed about Simba and Nala's potential blood relation, their responses range from awkward deflection to contradictory explanations. The animators, writers, and directors behind The Lion King have faced this uncomfortable question at conventions and interviews for decades now, and their answers tell us more through what they don't say than what they do. The most revealing response came from co-director Rob Minkoff in a rare 1994 interview with Animation Magazine. When directly questioned, Minkoff dodged the issue entirely, stating only that The Lion King is ultimately a coming-of-age story about finding your place in the world. The specific details of the pride structure weren't essential to that journey. This evasion speaks volumes. Acknowledging the question while providing zero clarity suggests they recognized the problematic implications but feared addressing them would tarnish the film's legacy. Perhaps the most telling moment occurred during a 2011 Blu-ray release event when producer Don Hahn faced this question head-on from a persistent fan. According to attendees, Hahn became visibly uncomfortable before carefully responding. In our minds during production, Simba and Nala were not blood relatives, but we never explicitly stated who Nala's father was because we wanted to focus on Simba's journey. His discomfort reveals the creative team had thoroughly considered this question but made a deliberate choice to maintain ambiguity in the final product. This pattern continued when story supervisor Brenda Chapman acknowledged during a 2016 university lecture there were internal discussions about the pride structure during development. Some team members were uncomfortable with the implications of having Simba and Nala be related, given the romantic storyline. We explored different solutions, but ultimately decided to simplify the pride structure for the audience rather than address it directly. Her admission confirms the team was aware of the biological contradiction, but prioritized storytelling simplicity over zoological accuracy. Now, let's examine the most compelling fan theories that emerge from this deliberate vagueness. The predominant theory suggests another adult male lion existed who either died or was exiled before the movie began. This unknown lion would be Nala's father, conveniently making her unrelated to Simba. Fans point to Nala's distinctive coloring as evidence supporting this theory. A variation proposes that Mufasa had another brother besides Scar, a third royal sibling who fathered Nala. This would make Simba and Nala first cousins, which feels less problematic to many fans than being half-siblings. However, this entire branch of the family tree remains pure speculation without any official support. Other theories suggest Serafina, Nala's mother, had a relationship with an outside male. While solving the relatedness problem, this contradicts natural lion behavior where outside males are violently rejected by the dominant males. Finally, there's the possibility most fans avoid acknowledging. Mufasa is indeed Nala's father, making her and Simba half-siblings. This aligns perfectly with actual lion behavior, where the dominant male fathers all cubs in the pride, and explains Disney's evasiveness about confirming her parentage. What makes these theories fascinating is how each requires fans to either ignore aspects of real lion behavior or invent new characters never mentioned in any official material. The mental gymnastics required to make Simba and Nala unrelated highlight the fundamental tension when applying real-world biology to Disney's magical storytelling universe. When the fantasy of Disney storytelling collides with the reality of lion biology, we're left with a mystery that has no perfect solution. But what if we've been looking at this entire question from the wrong perspective? The most compelling explanation for Simba and Nala's relationship might be far simpler than any fan theory has suggested, that Disney simply prioritized a good story over zoological accuracy. Let's face it, creating a beloved family film about singing and dancing lions already required audiences to suspend their disbelief. The creators likely never anticipated fans would later apply National Geographic level scrutiny to their fictional pride's family dynamics. When crafting the original Lion King, the primary goal wasn't to accurately portray lion reproductive behaviors, but to tell an engaging coming-of-age story with clear heroes, villains, and a satisfying romantic subplot. This explains why searching for a definitive answer about Simba and Nala's relation feels like chasing shadows across the savannah. Their relationship exists in a storytelling limbo where the creators clearly intended them not to be related, while simultaneously designing a pride structure that makes this almost impossible from a biological standpoint. It's a case of narrative convenience trumping scientific accuracy. The continued silence on this topic across decades of Lion King media speaks volumes. This represents a deliberate choice to avoid addressing a narrative problem that has no elegant solution. Acknowledging any family connection between the romantic leads would instantly transform their love story into something problematic for a family audience. Yet explicitly stating they're unrelated would require explaining the unusual pride structure, potentially dragging the story into complex territory inappropriate for the target audience. The creators themselves seem caught in this narrative trap. Their awkward deflections when questioned directly suggest they recognize the contradiction they've created but have no satisfying way to resolve it. The deleted scenes and abandoned storylines reveal a creative team walking a tightrope between biological fact and Disney fantasy, repeatedly approaching this narrative problem before retreating from any definitive answer. A charitable analysis might suggest that in the Disney version of Lion Society, another male lion fathered Nala before mysteriously vanishing from the pride. This absent father figure would solve the relationship problem while maintaining the simplified pride structure shown on screen. Yet this solution requires accepting an off-screen character whose existence is never hinted at throughout multiple films, shows, and books. A significant omission in a franchise focused on family and lineage. This balance between storytelling and biology isn't unique to The Lion King. Disney routinely anthropomorphizes animals in ways that bypass inconvenient biological realities. Finding Nemo glosses over clownfish gender changes, while Bambi's family structure bears little resemblance to actual deer social organization. These creative choices allow for cleaner, more emotionally resonant narratives that connect with human audiences. The most reasonable conclusion is that Disney created a fictional lion world where real lion behavior applies only when convenient for storytelling. They clearly intended the audience to view Simba and Nala as unrelated romantic partners, but never constructed a coherent biological explanation for how this works within their own world building. They opted for strategic ambiguity, never confirming, never denying, trusting most viewers wouldn't analyze the implications. This reveals the limitations of applying real-world logic to fictional universes designed primarily for entertainment. The Lion King succeeds as a coming-of-age story about responsibility and redemption, but wasn't built to withstand zoological scrutiny. In the creators' minds, Simba and Nala were never related, even though the pride structure they created would make this almost inevitable in nature. A narrative choice that leaves us with an enduring mystery at the heart of Pride Rock. And just like that, we've reached the end of our investigation into the Lion King's mysterious family tree. While Disney never definitively answers whether Simba and Nala are related, they clearly never intended them to be. The Lion King is a fairy tale with talking animals and singing songs, not a wildlife documentary. It's a timeless tale about finding your place in the circle of life. What's your theory about the missing link in this jungle of secrets? Who might Nala's father be? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos where we uncover hidden secrets in your favorite Disney classic.